It almost went in my brow. What even are pressed powders? Wow, just looking in the mirror, this just like really takes me back. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I used to do my makeup in 2019 versus how I do it today. I went off of my very first everyday makeup routine video, which came out April 27th of 2019. I'll link it down below in case you want to watch it. So yeah, if you guys are interested to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. Alright, so I've got my cat ears on. I've got my little pearl earring on the 2 years ago side and my dangly lightning bolts on today's side. So my first step 2 years ago would have been primer. So I'm going to go ahead and prime. I don't have the same primer. I used to use the ELF Boost Drops primer and I don't have that anymore. I just have this, which is the JCat H2O Fresh Dewy Primer, which I'm going to use on both sides, but I don't prime first anymore. My first step now these days is brows. So I'm going to be taking the ELF Instant Lift Brow Pencil and the NYX The Brow Glue, and I'm going to do some feathery brows. So my next step over here would be foundation. I used to wear a foundation that was way too light for me. Same with the concealer. I don't have the same foundation, but I do have this Revlon Light Color one, which I think is a similar amount of too light for me. I also used to use the Beauty Blender Pro all the time, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to add a little bit more because I think the foundation I used to wear had a little bit more coverage. I used to wear the ELF Flawless, what was it? Flawless Finish or Naturally Flawless. And my next step on this side would be to prime. I'm using the same primer because, well, I really like this primer, and I still really like the same sort of primers, the just really hydrating ones. Alright, so since I'm primed, I'm going to go ahead and catch myself up, and I'm going to do foundation on this side. So these days I would prefer a more dewy foundation, so I'm going to go with the Morphe 2 Hint Hint Skin Tint. It almost went in my brow. And as far as sponges go, I prefer to use the Beaky blender now over the Beauty Blender. It's just cheaper, and I like it better. It is a little bit hard to get around this white line. I'm sure you guys can already tell a huge difference in the colors of my foundations, and like, wow. I know that this one is a little bit too orange for me, but this one's too light and this one's too orange. But like, next up is concealer. So I still wear ELF Camo Concealer, but these days I go for the hydrated one, and I used to wear the matte one, and I have not used the matte one in so long, and I used to have a shade that was way too light, and I went and bought a new one just for this video, but I got it in the shade that I could actually wear, so it might look a little crazy with this foundation. So I have the ELF Camo Concealer, the 16 hour, and then I have the ELF Hydrating one. I have not worn this in such a long time, and this is not the same shade I used to wear. This is Light Sand, and I used to wear Fair Beige. Right? Yeah, Fair Beige, which is so pale. It's like white. And I watched the video and I did this. I used 3 dots. And then down my nose. I can't remember if I concealed down here or not, but I do now, so I'm gonna go with it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I still really like that concealer. It is so full coverage. It looks amazing, honestly. Now I'm gonna go in with the hydrating one. And now I just do right here and then out. And then I usually do a little bit by my nose, a little bit here. I normally would do my forehead, but I normally do like right here in the middle of my forehead, and I obviously can't because of the lines. Duh. Look at the difference in like my under eyes. Alright, on to powder. So I used to use a pressed powder. I used the Rimmel Stay Matte. I don't have that, but I do have the Maybelline Fit Me that I literally never use. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this. What even are pressed powders? These days I use a loose powder. I use the Believe Beauty Matte Blur Powder. You can find this at Dollar General. Oh, and I'm not going to be powdering my whole face because I have a cream product. I'm glad I remembered that because I almost forgot. So I'm real quick going to do blush on this side because I use a cream blush more often than powder these days. I'm going to take the Rare Beauty Joy. This is the Soft Pinch blush. 2 teeny tiny little dots of that. It is super pigmented, so be careful. And I'm just going to... I promise it will settle down. Now I can continue with powder. And I promise the blush won't look so crazy here in a little bit. Okay, so to get a little caught up, I'm gonna go ahead and do this brow. I used to do like blocky brows. They weren't like just blocky brows, they were like really thin too, so I have no idea how I'm gonna do this. I had to like brush them through really lightly and not like up like I do now because that's not how I used to do it. Oh, by the way, I'm using the LA Girl Brow Pomade. It's the only pomade I have that matches my hair now, so... yeah, I'd say that looks close to right. It's not quite as thin as I used to do it because I think my brows are just a little bit bushier now. It's kind of hard to do it that way. And then I would use the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara in Blonde, which I do still have. I mean, this is not the same one. I've probably gone through like 3 of these since then, but on to bronzer. This is actually the same product. I was using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer 2 years ago, and I'm still using it to this day. So that's pretty cool. And I do my bronzer the same way, so this is not going to be very interesting for you guys because everything's the same with my bronzer. I can't believe how much better this bronzer looks on this side just because like it matches the foundation a little bit better. It looks so like weird on this side. Okay, I need to catch up on blush on this side. I used to use the Burt's Bees blush in Warm Honey all the time, and so that's what I'm going to use. But my blush used to be so different. I said that I liked a lot of blush, but like by a lot of blush, that's all I meant. And I would go, I'll just wipe the excess on my nose. Which reminds me, I forgot to put blush on my nose. Because I always blush the poo out of my nose now. Okay, so next is highlighter, and I'm still using O for highlighters. I know in the video I used the ColourPop Flexitarian, but that's because I was trying to make it a drugstore video. I do recall that my favorite highlighter back in the day was the Ophir Glazed Donut, and the ColourPop Flexitarian's a dupe for that. So that's why I used that one in that video. So I'm going to go ahead and use Glazed Donut on this side. And I'm pretty sure I highlighted the same way too. Oh no, no. I used to highlight my whole nose, but I used to highlight all the way up my nose, which is just wrong. Okay, so these days I still use the Ophir highlighter, but I prefer Moondance because it's a little bit more of like a golden champagne, whereas the other one's more like a pearlescent white. And I prefer like a tapered highlighter brush rather than like a bigger one. Just this really old ELF smudge brush. Really old. This brush is probably like 10 years old. I highlight right here, just like a little bit, a little dot on the center of my nose. And then I highlight up here. Which is a little bit hard to do with the white line. So today I would do setting spray next, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm just using the ELF Dewy Setting Mist, the coconut scented one. Back in the day, I would have used the ELF Expert Liquid Liner. I still use this, but it's not my absolute favorite anymore. I also used to go like all the way in the corner. Oh no. Typically, I would use the Scone Cosmetics Insanely Intense Tattooed Eyeliner. It's just this really fine tip, felt tip pen. But nowadays, I go up a little bit more. And I only go to like a little bit past the middle unless I'm wearing lashes. And then I'll go like all the way across so that the lashes blend better. A little bit different directions. Before I do my mascara, I'm going to go ahead and set this side. I can't remember when I used to set my makeup, but I'm not going to set it after my mascara. I don't have the setting spray that I used to use. I actually wound up being allergic to that because it has rose water in it, and I have allergic reactions to rose water. So the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Cucumber Primer Water. It's a primer water, but I'm going to use it as a setting spray. I didn't used to use like anything dewy. I was not about that dew back in the day. I'm just going to tell you guys what I'm using, and I'm going to go off camera because it's going to get a little messy. So on this side, I'm using the L'Oreal Voluminous mascara. I don't have the mascara I used to use, but this one's a similar wand, and it's just like okay. I just used to use like whatever mascara because it was just okay. But now I use the Bite Beauty Upswing mascara. This is my favorite, and it does so much for my lashes, whereas all the mascaras I used to have don't do like anything for my lashes. So that just took like a crazy long time because I got a hair caught in my eye, and I still have my old favorite lip combo, which is the Kylie Cosmetics Lip Liner in Dulce K and the NYX Lip Lingerie in Lace Detail. Now, I didn't used to really like overline my lips. I would just kind of like draw like right on them, so that's what I'm gonna do. But these days I prefer a gloss. So I'm going to take the Essence Soft and Precise Lip Pencil in Legendary and the NYX Butter Gloss in Creme Brulee, and that's what I'm going to do on this side. And I overline my lips, and I also draw over my Cupid's bow, so like I sort of erase my Cupid's bow. And I like this lip pencil because it's like a slightly more pink. This is a weird texture because, you know, one side's glossy and one side's matte, and it's really throwing me off. That's it. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in. So here is how I used to do my makeup. Here's how I used to do my makeup versus how I do my makeup now. Which one do you guys like better? I feel like it's obvious. We've got much more matte and like much more dewy and glowy. Wow, just looking in the mirror, this just like really takes me back. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was sort of fun for you guys. What do you think? Like, do you think my makeup's definitely improved, or do you like the like super matte, way more simple look? I mean, this definitely is just crazy. It's crazy to me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm getting closer to 600 subscribers, so make sure to subscribe so I can hit 600. That would be awesome. I post new videos every single Saturday, and I'll see you guys next Saturday. Bye!